Hello my friends and welcome back to Dragon Age 2. Today we are going to take a break from questing and I have put together all of the companion dialogue for the first act. Enjoy!
Was Wesley based out of the Lothering Chantry? I don't remember ever seeing him there.
He served elsewhere. He was coming to find me at Ostagar. Were you familiar with every Templar in Lothering?
How else was I supposed to know when to run and hide? You don't seem to like your brother very much.
And here I thought it took blood magic to read minds.
I had a twin brother, Carver. He used to nail my braid to the bed while I was sleeping. I never thought I'd miss him this much.
Sorry about your brother. Hey, you want mine? I got a spare.
Are you really not afraid of apostates? Not even a little?
Sunshine, I'm a dwarf, in case you missed that detail.
Dwarves aren't completely immune to magic, you know.
No. I meant there are at least 30 people in this town who'd murder my family over trade deals. Who has time to worry about apostates with a merchant's guild breathing down your neck?
In that case, I see.
A Ferelden in the guard. What will they think of next?
You have a problem with that?
Me? My family's not native either. I'm just surprised. A lot of old prejudice in the guard.
I'll give them plenty of reason to change their minds.
You know, it's possible they're just scared shitless of you. That's my theory, anyway.
Being a guardsman seems like a better life than being a soldier.
Oh?
My brother was a soldier. It's all about taking land and serving some king you've never met. Guardsmen, they do something real. They protect people. They make their lives better.
I don't know if I agree.
Neither would my brother. Your family used to be noble, right?
By some definition of the term.
Do you ever wonder what your life would have been like if you were still nobles?
Sunshine, nobility is just an expensive lifestyle. I've already got one of those.
Nobles have power, too. And responsibilities.
Estates, servants, investments, mercenaries, assassins. We've still got all those things. It's sunnier here, and nobody calls me my lord. I think I can live with that.
Do you ever wish you lived in Orzammar?
Great ancestors, no. You know what Orzammar is? It's cramped tunnels filled with nug shit and body odor. And every person there thinks he's better than you because his great-great-great-grandfather made a water clock or something.
But they're your people. Don't you even wonder what it would be like?
I have a good imagination. Why would I waste it on that?
How come you and Wesley never had children? I mean, sorry if that's too personal.
It's all right. I was a soldier and he was a Templar. We knew that our personal lives would have to wait. Distance never mattered. But we ran out of time. It is what it is.
Now that he's gone, do you ever wish?
That's too personal. Varric, do you do anything?
Am I the next stop in your career evaluations? Joy of joys.
You watch and you talk. Is that it?
You are dismissing hallmarks of both the utterly ineffectual and the incredibly dangerous.
I don't know what you mean.
It means coins flow when I talk and when I shut up. Like if you got paid to guard or unguard.
That makes no sense.
Good. So, what do you do, Aveline?
You know I'm a guard. Why are you asking?
I mean in your off-duty hours, for fun. You've heard of it, I hope.
These are my off-duty hours.
And the trend of you scaring the piss out of me continues.
Maybe I should put you to use, Varric. Have you penned some warnings for the lawless?
Who's that for? Are most criminals big readers? Seems like pacifying the nobles.
Pictures, then. It was just a suggestion.
Well, how about a giant sign that just says don't? You could hit people with it.
Thank you. I get the point. You show admirable restraint, Bethany.
For a mage, you mean?
I could also say for a hawk. But yes, for a mage.
You have a sword. Why aren't you killing someone right now?
Fair point, but I can put my sword down.
Believe me, I have tried.
I'm sorry I couldn't get you more information about the Circle, Bethany. It's difficult without naming you.
Thank you for being discreet. I don't want the Templars at my door.
No one does.
Let them corral the troublemakers. I just want information.
Right.
It sounds like I'm trying to convince myself, doesn't it?
I wouldn't have said, but yes.
So, you were in the Circle and ran away? I don't know if I'd be brave enough to do that.
You've been an apostate your whole life.
Exactly. It was never anything I had to work for. Other people always took the risks to keep me free. I know it didn't work the way you wanted, but... it was brave what you did with Justice.
It was meant well. I don't know if that's enough to forgive me.
Must have been hard for him, being trapped outside the Fade. In a place where no one's like him. I bet he appreciated having a friend.
He did.
I hear good things about you, Anders. Not what I expected.
From a mage, you mean?
I didn't say that.
How else would you judge me? What else am I a shining example of?
I don't know. Other Fereldans lurking in Darktown? Mage or not?
You... have a fair point.
I thought all dwarves had beards. Where's yours?
I misplaced it, along with my sense of dwarven pride and my gold-plated noble caste pin.
I thought maybe it fell onto your chest.
Oh, the broody elf tells a joke.
I don't brood.
Friend, if your brooding were any more impressive, women would swoon as you passed. They'd have broody babies in your honor.
You're a very odd dwarf.
And you thought I was joking about the pin. So... Elf, that thing you do with your hand.
I can already tell this isn't going anywhere pleasant.
I bet that makes pickpocketing easier.
I'll try it sometime and find out.
So what's with that magical fisting thing you do?
Sorry?
You know, when you stick your hand into people.
Oh, that. Yes, it's, talent.
You could make so much coin with that.
So, you've... been with women? In bed?
I know. Shocking, isn't it? You see, Sweetness, men are only good for one thing. Women are good for 6.
6? Which 6?
Isabella! I enjoy a man with markings like that.
You've enjoyed many, I suspect.
Where I come from, they're called tattoos. Sailors get them all the time.
Not made of lyrium, I'd imagine.
Not a one. And the pictures are different. Usually breasts.
I suppose a pair of lyrium breasts tattooed onto my chest would make things better.
That's me. I'm a helper.
So you freed a group of slaves?
Would-be slaves. They weren't slaves yet.
Still, you did the right thing. Many would turn a blind eye.
Don't read too much into it, all right? It just seemed a good idea at the time.
Did I hear correctly? You are an abomination.
Why don't you shout? I don't think everyone heard you.
Do you see yourself as harmless then? An abomination who would never harm anyone?
Like ripping someone's heart out of his chest?
I did that at the behest of no demon.
So we agree that it doesn't take a demon for someone to be a vicious killer. Good.
Why was your friend made tranquil? Do you know?
No, and it doesn't matter. Nobody deserves that.
I know some mages who deserve that.
Really? Perhaps they should start making slaves tranquil. Then they wouldn't dream of escaping. Wouldn't that be wonderful?
Slaves do not attract demons that try to possess them.
Which clearly justifies it. What a perfect solution. So, when you first did blood magic, it was just an accident, right? You cut yourself and realized the power. You didn't actually deal with a demon.
Oh no, I did.
Why would you do that?
I needed his help. He was really very nice about it.
Of course he was. He's using you to get a foothold in a mortal brain.
He's a spirit. He offered me his aid, I hardly think you're one to criticize.
You ever going to stop harping on the mages here?
No.
They aren't what you saw in Tevinter.
The moment they are free, mages will make themselves magisters.
They're slaves. You should want to help them.
I don't.
I heard Varric saying you were a Grey Warden.
I was.
I met a Warden once. Back in Ferelden. Duncan, I think his name was. Very odd man. He had a marvelous beard, though. I'd never seen one before. I thought a squirrel had grabbed him by the chin.
Why are you watching me like that?
You have Valasleen. The same markings that the Dalish have.
Yours are not made of lyrium.
No, they're made of blood. Our blood. That's what Valasleen means. Blood writing. It's a mark of adulthood.
Mine were carved into my flesh against my will, in a ritual I remember only for the agony it caused me.
I'm so sorry. You've probably never met a Dalish before, have you?
I wouldn't know.
I'm sure you'd be able to tell. Dalish aren't much like the elves in the cities.
The smug sense of superiority does give you away.
Maybe you don't really understand the difference between spirits and demons.
Did I ask you?
Spirits were the first children of the Maker, but he turned his back on them to dote on his mortal creations. The ones who resented this became demons, driven to take everything mortals had and gain back the Maker's favor.
Your Maker is a story you humans use to explain the world. We have our own stories. I don't need to borrow yours.
So, there must be mages in Tevinter who don't use blood magic.
Of course, there are slaves. The Magisters do not hesitate to collar their own kind.
But no magisters.
Why must you go on about this? No Magister would turn down an advantage over his rivals. If he did, he'd be dead.
You know, to use blood magic, you need to look a demon in the eye and accept his offer. I just figured some of them would say no. For aesthetic reasons, if nothing else.
Do men find you intimidating? What about Wesley? Did he?
Isabella.
What? Too soon?
Too soon, too personal, too... everything coming from you.
Oh, sore spot.
If you don't shut up, I'll give you a sore spot.
And here we are in the brothel. My day is complete.
The difference between a courtesan and a whore is... well, their shoes are nicer.
I don't think anyone's looking at their shoes.
Let's not stay here for long.
If someone here tries to hire me again, I'm leaving.
So, Isabella, you're a captain.
That's right, big girl. What of it?
I don't remember your name on any registries. Every ship that docks has to declare.
I never docked. And you're no port authority.
And you are no merchant.
Ooh, scrutiny. You have such pretty hair. What a lovely color.
Other children used to laugh at me for having ginger hair.
Really? Oh, I bet you were cute. Did you have pigtails?
Sometimes.
How precious. Little Aveline running around the village with her flaming orange pigtails streaming behind her. And little boys all scattering and screaming for mercy as she approached.
Shut up, whore.
I keep thinking I know you from somewhere.
You're Ferelden, right? Ever spend time at the Pearl?
That's it. You used to really like that girl with the griffin tattoos, right? What was her name?
The Lay Warden?
That's right. I think you were there the night I...
Oh! Were you the runaway mage who could do that electricity thing? That was nice.
Please stop talking. Now.
Sometimes I think you have the right idea.
Handcuffs, whipped cream, always be on top.
I never used to give two bits what anyone thought of me. Justice once asked me why I didn't do more for other mages. I told him it was too much work, but I couldn't go back after that. Couldn't stop thinking about it. Sometimes I miss being that selfish.
Huh? Were you talking? I was still at whipped cream. Hello? Is Anders there? Can I speak to Anders?
Stop yelling.
Oh, good. I didn't want to talk to that other guy. You know, the stick in the mud.
I can still hear you. Justice and I are one. Anyway, you wanted to talk to me?
Not really. I just wanted to make sure it was you.
I could use your consult, Anders.
Bring it to Darktown and I'll get you a salve or something.
What? No. I need to know some things about mages.
Why?
I'm a guard. I'm the first person who has to deal with trouble.
You want help killing people like me?
Not every mage can be trusted.
Nor every guard. Isabella, you never talk about the mage's plight.
What's there to say?
There's plenty to say.
And you say enough for the lot of us, don't you think?
So you're telling me you have no opinion on the matter?
None whatsoever.
That can't be true.
No, I'm afraid I'm really this shallow. Well, Captain. Can I call you Captain? You can call me Captain.
I won't be doing that.
Neither will I, because you're a guard captain. No real authority. Not like on a ship.
Well, you would know about having a large number of men under you.
You've been waiting to use that one. Did you practice?
Shut up.
So, you married a Templar, huh?
What of it?
Are they all as dirty as they seem?
What?
Did he ever ask you to play the naughty mage and the hapless recruit? Maybe the secret desire demon and the upstanding knight?
That's disgusting.
I hear it's quite popular. Do you ever miss Ferelden?
Of course. It was home. I would never have left willingly. But I'm not going to be my father and spend my life trying to live a memory.
I didn't think I'd give it a second thought once I was gone. I mean, what did Ferelden ever do for me? But I do. I think about it. There's something here that just doesn't feel right.
You mean how mages are treated?
No. I think there's not enough dog shit. What?
Just wondering if the feathered pauldrons are an essential part of the moody rebel mage persona.
What are you talking about?
I'm working on an epic poem about a hopelessly romantic apostate, waging an epic struggle against forces he can't possibly defeat.
What do you mean, can't possibly defeat?
Well, it's not a good story unless the hero dies.
Sir Pouncelot. Who knighted him?
Is that a serious question?
Did he have a little sword or just his claws? I bet he had a dashing cap with a feather in it.
Would you stop making fun of my cat?
Oh, no hat then. I would like to know more about being a guard, Aveline.
I don't think that's the job for you.
I know, but it might help me not get caught.
You probably shouldn't have said that part.
Why?
Just... never mind.
Why don't you arrest us, Aveline?
What?
We break the law, I'm pretty sure. There are laws for almost everything. You're not a bad guard, are you?
No.
That's good. Is it because you're fond of Hawk? I kind of am.
How very nice for you. Keep it to yourself.
I'd rather keep it with her. You must really like the Hawk family.
Why do you say that?
You came all the way from Lothering with them, didn't you? And they're not even your clan.
Humans don't have clans, Meryl.
Exactly. You came so far together, and you didn't even have a keeper to make you get along.
So your keeper tells you to stop kicking each other, or she'll turn the Aravel around?
Sometimes she also warns us to stop pulling hair. Did Lothering have an alienage?
It wasn't a big enough village to have a wall around it, let alone a place for elves.
Where did the elves live then?
Stables and outbuildings mostly.
I think I like alienages better.
Where did you learn your magic? I mean, you know my feelings on the Circle, but usually it's the only decent training a mage can get.
My father taught me. He was in the Circle once, trained there. But he got away.
You don't know how lucky you were to have someone who loved you and could help you. Most mages would kill for that.
You remind me of him.
The right of tranquility is the whole problem. If they didn't have that to hold over us, we'd have so many more options.
Right. If we want to fight back, or just engage in intelligent debate, they make sure we can't do it.
They're forcing our hands. There's no way to change things peacefully.
There must be something.
If it's tranquility or death, we have no choice but to make every confrontation a life or death struggle.
I know, but there are good people in the Circle, the Chantry. There has to be a way to reason with them.
Not if they take away your ability to reason.
I've always wondered, why is every surface dwarf a merchant or a smith?
You left out criminals and hired muscle.
They don't count.
We dwarves are drawn to shiny objects. Sort of like magpies, but with business sense.
You're kidding.
Of course I am. We come to the surface with the skills our ancestors had, Blondie. You think there's a tradition of dwarf woodcutters in Orzammar? Beekeepers? Sailors?
Well, there could be mushroom growers and nug wranglers.
Orzammar will never let those people go topside. Too vital. Also, embarrassing. So, a human, an elf, and a dwarf walk into a bar.
The human says, "You're lucky you're so short. That hurt like mad."
You could have just stopped me, Blondie.
Why waste a perfectly good setup?
Are you safe, Fenris?
No.
You know, some guards give people the opportunity to lie if it will keep the peace.
You can see what I am. Lie to yourself if you must. I understand you're named after a famous knight.
Everyone always brings up the name.
I've not heard of Sir Aveline. Is she very famous?
Really? They don't tell of her glorious downfall into Winter?
Not to slaves.
Pardon me for saying so, but thank the Maker for that. You are known, Fenris.
What?
I'm going through Jevon's neglected reports. Some involve you and requests about you.
By whom?
I don't know. They're old, poorly kept. But you should be on your best behavior.
Thank you for getting rid of them.
I didn't.
You do not like your name?
My name is a wish my father made, and I did want to be a knight, but...
I see. Still, it's a good name. A strong name.
What were you named after?
I don't know my real name. My master called me Fenris, his little wolf.
Could you not call yourself something different now?
Couldn't you?
A fine point.
That book you were reading this morning, Hessarian's Spear. I don't think he had a spear in the legends.
He does in this one. Read the description.
Andraste knelt before no man but her maker. But she hadn't counted on the Archon Hessarian. Can Hessarian penetrate the tight-knit defenses of the warrior prophetess? Will she be prepared to face the full blast of his power? Wait a minute. Isabella, this is a vulgar thing.
You want to borrow it?
No!
You sure? It has pictures.
Not listening, I'm not listening. So, there's no circle among the Dalish?
Any child with a gift of magic is apprenticed to a keeper. In another clan if there's no need in her own.
That sounds nice.
Magic is a gift of the creators. Why wouldn't we use it? It just seems wasteful for humans to lock their mages away where they can't do any good.
But you are a blood mage.
Do you really like sailing? Like it? I love it. The salt spray on my face, the wind whipping by my ears, the gulls screaming overhead. I love it all. Oh, don't you get sick? I was so sick on our trip across the sea. Were you in the hold? Everyone was in the hold. There's your problem. You need to be up on deck, under the sky, with nothing between you and the horizon. Sailing is like sex. Do it wrong and it'll make you sick. But do it right, and there's no feeling in the world like it. How do you do that? Do what, kitten? You sort of swagger when you walk. I've been trying, but I trip over my own feet when I do it. You just strut. It's not something you practice. How do I learn it then?
It comes to you, usually at night. It's like a lover, or maybe a burglar. Either it ravishes you, or runs off with all your jewelry, and you have to run it down and stab it in the heart. And that metaphor got a bit away from me, didn't it?
I think it did, but it was certainly exciting.
So, is the Keeper your mother?
I left my clan when I was a child, to become Marathari's first. I haven't seen my parents in more than 10 years.
I'm so sorry. My father died in the Blight. You must really miss them.
I remember my mother singing to me when I was a little girl and I'd get sick. I think that's what I miss the most. The Keeper has a terrible singing voice. Do you have a parrot, Isabella?
What would I want a parrot for?
What about a peg leg? Do you have one of those?
You can see that I don't, dear.
Eye patch?
I'm disappointing you terribly, aren't I? And no hook for a hand either.
Seems that Varric's pirate stories are awfully inaccurate.
He knows, kitten. He likes them better that way.
What were you before you were a pirate?
I had a husband. He didn't beat me. That's about the best I can say about it.
So you left him?
He was murdered by my lover. It was all very Antivan.
Oh. I don't think I'd like to live in Antiva. I guess you've been with a lot of men.
Men, women, elves. A dwarf in drag once, but I don't recommend that.
Oh.
Oh, you're blushing. Why? How many lovers have you had?
I never...
You're a virgin. Hawk, you've been holding out on the poor girl. Get her a night at the Blooming Rose. On me.
That's, very generous.
I'm a giver.
You're so lucky.
How do you figure?
I wish I had a sister and a whole big family. It must be wonderful. You'd never be alone.
It is wonderful. Although it might be better without Uncle Gamlin.
Certainly your people have stories about the Dalish, no?
My people?
The elves in Tevinter. They must have heard of us.
They've heard. They just don't care.
But if they run away, the Dalish would help them.
You might as well say, if they flew into the sky, they could live in the clouds.
What would they eat in the clouds? There's nothing there but fluff and the occasional bird.
This is why nobody takes the Dalish seriously. You've been an apostate your whole life, then?
Like my father before me? What of it?
Didn't your family consider that dangerous?
There are mages who go their whole lives without ever falling prey to a demon. Many of them, in fact.
And if the Templars came looking for you, that would not be danger enough.
Perhaps there shouldn't be any Templars.
You know, you cannot wish the Templars away.
I can try.
Is the Circle here truly so terrible an option?
Do you really have to ask that?
You would be kept safe, from others as well as from yourself. And they would be kept safe from you.
I didn't ask for this.
Nobody asks for their fate.
Do you ever miss Tevinter?
I was a slave.
Still, it was your home, right? The only one you remember. Does it ever feel strange not to be there?
Sometimes. That does not mean I would go back.
If you could do anything, just anything at all, what would you do?
That's easy. Be normal. No magic. Just normal.
Really? You wouldn't fly across Thedas or eat a cake the size of Kirkwall? Keep a baby griffin for a pet?
Well, now that you say it, the griffin might not be so bad.
I'd name mine Feathers.
So this relic you mentioned losing...
You have pretty eyes.
I have pretty eyes.
You elves have such pretty eyes. Even the men. It makes me want to pluck them out and wear them as a necklace.
I wouldn't suggest trying.
Oh, I would never try. Not without reason, of course.
Forget I said anything.
This one time, I was sailing to Lemerin, and there was a fight between two of my men. It was over a dice game, or the last piece of toast or something. Sailors, they're touchy about their toast.
Is this going anywhere?
It will if you let me finish. So, there's a knife fight, and Jim ends up with a broken off blade stuck in his shoulder. It's very deep in there, and we're out at sea at least a week from the nearest port. If you were there, you could have reached in and plucked that blade right from his flesh.
That's your whole point?
Pretty much.
So the Magister put lyrium in your skin.
So I'm told.
Does it hurt?
You do not want to know the answer to that.
It's not always fun and games on the sea, though. There are storms and hostile pirates. And it's trying being cooped up with men who haven't seen a woman in months.
You're a woman.
Exactly. And I don't usually let them touch me, so they get frustrated. I insist all of them get alone time. Helps with the crankiness.
They're already lonely. Why would you insist they be alone some more?
Ah, Meryl.
What? Did I miss something?
Go think about it. Maybe it'll come to you.
I don't want your pity.
Are you talking to me?
You said you were sorry about the ritual I endured. Keep your sorrow.
I only meant...
You have all the freedom none of our kind enjoy, and you throw it away. On what?
Our people need to reclaim their heritage.
A heritage of defeat? To what end?
Would you truly turn your back on your own history? There's so much we don't know.
It's not my history. It's simply history.
So, where's your beard, elf?
Elves don't grow beards.
Huh. I thought maybe you shaved it off in a fit of broody pique.
So you're a funny dwarf.
Is brooding a sport in Tevinter? Do they hold competitions? Hand out trophies for the best scowls?
I'm not brooding.
Moping, then. You seem like you're a champion at it.
I'm perfectly content at the moment.
Oh, so that's you smiling. Glad you clarified that. I'd never have known.
Thank you very much for the help earlier, Varric.
You made it back to the alienage in one piece, then?
I don't know how I wound up in Darktown. There are just too many corners in Kirkwall.
Still got that ball of twine?
I left it at my house. Don't worry, I won't get lost while we're following Hawk.
Bring it next time, Daisy. Just in case. Daisy, for my sake, please quit cutting through the alleys in Lowtown alone at night.
Nothing ever happens. I'm perfectly safe, Varric.
Yes, I know. And that nothing is costing me a fortune.
I've never met a dwarf before.
That's because you've spent too much time frolicking in the woods, Daisy. Dwarves don't frolic.
Dalish don't really frolic either. Not in the woods, anyway.
You have sanctioned frolicking areas?
No, just not in the woods. The trees get jealous.
But you do frolic.
Of course we do. We wouldn't be elves otherwise. You remind me of Harin Pyvel, Varric. Only younger and shorter, and not as serious.
So it's a close resemblance, then.
Well, he tells stories, and you tell stories. Although none of his begin, "No shit, there I was."
I'll have to give him some better stories, then. I shit you not, Ravani. It was this big.
There's no way. Impossible. I've had hundreds of those in my hands, and they're never that size.
Would I lie about something so critical?
What are you talking about?
We're discussing knives, of course. Well, daggers, technically. I never remember the difference. Why? What did you think we were talking about?
So he comes down wearing...
Ravani, stop looking at my chest. My eyes are up here.
But the chest hair...
Do you know how much I suffer under your gaze? I am a person, not an object.
Varric?
Just shitting you. I'll let you run your fingers through it if you want.
Your chest hair? My fingers? Oh, Varric, stop. You're making me quiver.
You know you want to.
Oh, I do. I can't resist you. No woman can.
I know. It's a terrible burden. You know, Ravani, you promised me you'd tell me how you're shipwrecked.
I was drunk. I thought the reefs around the Wounded Coast were made of candy.
Oh, come on.
And a demon told me to do it. It bet me 60 sovereigns and a bottle of port. You're not the only one here who can bullshit, you know?
And that wraps up today's video. Thank you as always so much for watching, and I will see you again tomorrow with another new Dragon Age 2 video.